I am RedCyclone! Aria!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome to another episode of the It Gets Better Elsewhere podcast. I'm your host, Louis Beans, and I'm here with Mark with the mic.
What is going on, world?
Chilling, Mark. How you doing?
NECA's trying to steal all my monies. I feel like I do talk about this every 2 weeks.
I mean, you gotta get a lock or something because they keep trying to get you, man. What's happening?
They know when my paychecks come.
God, yeah, I guess so. They just sitting there waiting. Where's the bank statement? Let me see.
So, this week it was originally supposed to be a toy fair. So a lot of people on YouTube and also the companies themselves are releasing all the figures that are coming out. I'm just gonna talk about the ones that have my interest, or in general, because then there'll be a lot to talk about. So I'm big into the NECA Ninja Turtles. I've been collecting the cartoon. I collect the movie ones. I'm not big in the arcade ones. I'm not big in the comic book ones, but them showing me this, I might have to collect the Archie ones because I think they look cool. So NECA pretty much said you got the Rock Soldier and Crooked Ninja Turtle Goon pack 2-pack. Those are coming. You got Zack the 5th Turtle and Smash Crook Ninja in a 2-pack. Turtle Boss 2-pack. And then you got Yosagio Jimbo Ultimate, which is coming all for the cartoon line of the Turtles. You have Mirage and IDW Fugitoid Turtles, Ultron Century, which is Crane's body in the comic book. Mutant, I don't know who that is. I can't tell you right now. Casey, and you got two of the last Ronin figures. You have a regular and an extra, with extra gear and stuff like that. So there's 2 figures of the last Ronin coming out. And then surprise, the Archie Turtles, which is Slash, Ray Fillet, and Jaguar and Dreadmon.
What is a Dreadmon?
That's the cheetah and the wolf.
Oh, okay. And those you said you haven't seen yet, right?
Yeah.
As in, in the comic.
Those are in
the
the Archie comic book series.
Oh, that's where they're from. Gotcha. Okay.
So I was like, okay, that's cool. So a lot of things are coming out. There's also rumors that NECA is doing Turtle Lair. I might be interested in that. It's depending on how much and how big it is. If it's not that big, I'll be interested in it because that'll be something nice to display the turtles in. But they showcased a bunch of those things. WWE showcased a bunch of their figures. We talked about it in the Wrestling Babble cast, so if you want to listen to that, we have the ones that are coming out. Marvel Legends is supposed to announce a bunch of stuff tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. One of them they already previewed was Blue Marvel is coming to Marvel Ultimates on Marvel Legends. And then DC McFarlane stuff is supposed to be announced tomorrow as well. Power Ranger Lightning Collection is supposed to be announced on Thursday. G.I. Joe I think is tomorrow as well. Transformers I think it's on Tuesday. So there's a lot of shit coming, a lot of shit pre-order and things like that. So stay tuned. If you're into those collections, then check them out. If you're not, ignore it because they'll take all your money.
Yeah, I know. It's gotta be hard to see just all these figures. And this is just some of the series you're talking about. These isn't all of them.
I'm running out of... if you see my display right now, it's all boxes right next to my display case because I had this fucking many coming out.
Don't forget to recycle.
So, if you're anyone who's interested in buying pops, I have a shit ton to sell because I need space for these figures. But yeah, a lot of things. Pops, I think, announced a bunch of their stuff this week as well for Stranger Things season 4. WWE showcased some of their stuff. Some new Marvel ones and things like that. So if you go to the Pops website, they usually have those up on there as well. I have not collected. I stopped pops. Period. Like I just stopped buying them.
There's too many.
I might get the Bianca for Jackie because I got her the 2 figures of Bianca as well, and that's one of her favorites. So I'll definitely probably get her to pop. The Eddie Guerrero is the one that I'm kind of like interested in with the lowrider. And maybe the Bliss.
The Bliss, Alexa Bliss that comes with Lily.
Yeah, because I'm a big fan of Bliss.
And
I
no
also gotta get the Ultimate one too.
No pupils, which is creepy.
Yes. All the creepy. Yeah, so that's a lot of this stuff. Horizon came out, and goddamn, that game is beautiful.
Now, what is this one?
Horizon Zero Dawn Into the West, or Horizon Into the West, or something like that.
I couldn't tell you. I don't have it.
Yeah, Horizon Into the West. There you go. If you've ever played Horizon Zero Dawn on PlayStation 4, this is the sequel to it. It's a robotic dinosaurs, a big adventure game. Very, I'll say more is very like I won't say Assassin's Creed because I think it's a bit more narrative based. Well, actually, just I'll say like a mix of Assassin's Creed and Ghost of Tsushima kind of style because it's a big open world. And there's a lot of things to discover. There's robotic dinosaurs that are trying to kill you, and you can ride them as well. And it's just a big world. It's supposed to take place in the West, so it's in North America, where you're at. And it's just like a post-apocalyptic world, and people are back into kind of the Savage Lands kind of thing, and they have tribes and things like that. And yeah, so far I played maybe the first 15 minutes because I'm still playing Star Wars Fallen Order, and I kind of want to finish that before I really dive into this game. But it is a beautiful freaking game.
Good.
Like,
So do you know offhand how long it's been between the games?
I'll say, I think 2018 it came out. When the Switch came out.
Okay. I don't know.
The
It took
Switch-
me like 3 years to get one, so I don't know.
No, because it
4
came out
years,
the
5
same
years?
time as Breath of the Wild.
Merc, I don't know because I don't have. Remember, I just got a Switch like last year.
2017.
17. Okay.
So it came out 2017. It came out like a month right before Breath of the Wild, and the game. You know what? I'll say this game is very similar to like the way you play Breath of the Wild. So it was harder to get into Breath of the Wild and play this at the same time because they felt like the same game. So I stuck with this one before I even touched Breath of the Wild, and I really enjoyed this game. So yeah, this came out 2017, so about 7 years.
Okay. Cool.
And and it got delayed, and the reason why it got delayed because they did not want to crunch.
Makes sense.
They wanted the people to enjoy Christmas with their families.
Nobody wants to end up like Cyberpunk.
Exactly.
I understand.
I'm fine with that. Like, yo, don't crunch. Let it come out when it's supposed to come out. And look at the difference of the games. If you actually look at Horizon Zero Dawn, you understand they took their time.
Yes.
Because just by looking at it, you're like, holy shit, this is beautiful. And yeah, and there's Horizon Forbidden West. That's what it's called.
Got you.
There you
Understood.
I'll go more into it in depth when I actually fully get into it. Right now, I've just been playing Star Wars Fallen Order. If you have not played that, it came out like 2 years ago. It's a great Star Wars game. And again, it's also like an open world adventure game kind of thing as well. So I like games like that. It keeps my mind at ease.
Okay. Got you.
So-
Got you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You got anything new? Or playing anything new?
No, not really. The only thing I've been seeing is, like you've been seeing the figures and the pops coming out.
Yeah.
So I've just been keeping my eye on that to see if there's anything I want. I know that King of Fighters 15 finally came out for release for everybody. So there's that. I've been watching a bunch of King of Fighters. I'll probably get it later on when it's on sale. It did not, I will say, it did not launch on fire. It launched with 38 characters, I believe, 38 or 39
Yeah.
out of the box. All of the options, people are saying all the options work. You can get matches very easy. The only thing that was a little funky was crossplay, but other than that, it works.
Okay.
So this sounds like the complete opposite of Street Fighter V's launch. Good job, SNK. You did it.
He learned from their mistake.
You did. But they learned from everybody else's because even, let's say, Guilty Gear, their lobby system is atrocious. So
Yeah.
they found that. They learned from Dragon Ball because they have rollback netcode. They're not playing those games. People are not accepting that stuff.
Yeah.
Because it get funky, man. So I think this is probably like this and Guilty Gear Strive are good signs for the future of brand new fighting games, right?
Nice.
They're listening more to the community that actually plays them for more than a month.
Yeah.
They're not just putting the banana netcode like Street Fighter and Tekken. So that's why this has the reason I'm excited is because this is probably like the most positive fighting game launch I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Because you know how most people they always got something to whine about. Is more people that just don't like King of Fighters that don't like. If you don't like it, it's not for you. It never will be for you.
Yeah.
There's a specific type of feel to it. It's a very specific type of character style. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that I think won't convert people, but I think the fact that everything works so well is what might have people saying, you know, I've been playing this kind of broken fighting game for a few years. I might want to play one that works.
Maybe
So
yeah. I'll
that
try
helps.
it. If it's cheap enough, I'll buy it.
So probably wait for a sale. I think the first DLC might be in a few months. They advertised 2 teams,
Okay.
so I'm pretty sure there'll be more down the line. But at least
Nice.
it's looking good for a fan.
That's good. Like again, like you want the fighting game community to have those style of games anyway. You want the like right now, like especially because you know what's funny is like the fact that 2020 is gonna like make like fighting, especially fighting games. Like they
Been
really have to
slow-
evolve that net code now.
Yeah, everybody does, right?
Yeah. Like now
I think so.
is the time to really do it because what if lockdown shit happens again? You like shit. Now we have good netcode. We don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. I mean, I'll put it this way, Mark, because when the lockdowns and stuff first happened, there was something called Parsec that got really big,
Yeah.
and then more people the people who were involved with something called Fightcade,
Yeah.
they stepped up really big,
Yeah.
and they perfected their netcode, and so that was a system which you can play old out of date fighting games
Yeah.
online and I mean games that never had online.
Cool.
And I mean the perfect arcade versions of those games, right? Or imperfect because there's some glitches and things like infinites and whatever.
Yeah.
Because you know there's no patches,
Yeah.
so you gotta play the old game as is. So sometimes you pick your own poison
Yeah.
because when you play things like that, the dregs come out of the dungeon.
Okay.
Let's just that one guy that you know, you're like, damn man, you still playing Tekken 3? Come on, man. Yeah, and you see that guy, and if he has access to online and you play him, that's your ass. So you know how it is. It's just those guys that had that one game. They are now out there on the prowl taking souls.
Yeah.
But they are taking souls because the netcode is good.
Yeah.
And this happened during the lockdown. It was not this good before lockdown. So
Yeah. So it shows like the companies are actually like putting the time into that.
well, that's what I meant to say. It's not companies.
Oh, it's not
These
companies.
are like
Yeah.
small. These are like little ass individual people, and
Yeah. That's good.
so when that happens, that's what makes the big companies look bad.
Yeah.
If these 10 guys in their basement can make netcode to play like these 87 games, and you can't do it on one, and you got multiple millions,
Yeah.
you got a problem.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna say I'm thankful for any lockdown stuff, but I'm thankful that somebody stepped up and basically slapped all these companies in the face.
Good. Slap them all.
because
I watched some like videos
was
of King
bad.
of Fighters. Like it looks interesting to play. Like I'm actually like the way it looks. It looks pretty. I can't. I'll stay straight up. I may know like 4 characters in this game by heart, and the rest I don't know who the fuck they are.
That's pretty
I know
much
Teddy
everybody.
Beauregard. I know Andy Beauregard. I know Mia, and I know Joe.
Pretty much, yeah. Fatal Fury crew, basically.
That's all I know. And if Samurai Showdown, that dude from Samurai Showdown, if he's in the game, I know him.
I mean, well, see, that's the thing. He might be.
Actually, you know what? I might know a bit more because I know the fake Ken, Rio.
Rio, yes.
I know him.
Yeah, the art of fighting guy. Yeah.
The wannabe Ken Ryu.
Well, yeah, he was SNK's original answer to Ryu because they wanted a realistic looking karate man. So they said, we're not gonna do the Ken thing.
Yeah.
But then Capcom made a joke about him, and they basically made fun of both of their main characters.
Yeah.
So that's why Dan has the
ponytail.
moves of Rio, but he has the ponytail of the other guy.
Yeah, I remember him, and he's the one that had like
Robert.
the slacks and shit, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember.
And so
that was Art of Fighting, right?
That was their joke. Yeah. And so that basically endured until today because Dan came out. He still has like those moves. So.
That's crazy that probably Dan is more popular than them too.
Yeah, well, Capcom is just in general more popular. It was always more popular than SNK.
Yeah,
but I think it's more the style. You see it. You see how it looks.
Yeah.
King of Fighters has a very particular, very Japanese, like almost punk-ish style to a lot of the characters. A lot of leather jackets, a lot of buckles and belts,
bandanas,
a lot of hair gel, a lot of characters with hair that stands out. You know what I mean?
I like.
Or then you'll get a guy who's just wearing a gi.
I like the dinosaur-looking dude. The dude with just the dinosaur head.
Yeah.
He looks cool.
He's a wrestler.
Cool.
He's a masked wrestler.
Cool. All right.
He does not break kayfabe. He is a dinosaur.
Luchasaurus needs to take lessons.
I mean, I don't know if Luchasaurus did not play King of Fighters 14. I don't know. Maybe
he might have a lawsuit. Like, hey, I'm the only wrestler dinosaur.
Oh, I mean, hey, listen. Maybe you could talk with these companies. Don't forget that Tekken has the Bullet Club.
They do.
They have the Bullet Club license. So I'm just saying, you know what you want nowadays is those collaborations. I think that will do Street Fighter 6 good.
Yeah.
Also, that's another thing that we can talk about. Did you get to see the Capcom countdown clock?
I did. Is it for Street Fighter 6? I just heard it was for something.
It has not been revealed what it was for.
It's for next week. This week, right?
I believe so. Yes. The speculation right now is one of a few things. One thing I find really funny. Did you know that they recently, I think as recent as last week, Street Fighter has a deal with Arby's?
Ooh.
Like they have an official deal with Arby's now.
Nice.
So that might be one of the things. There might be a new meal combo package with Arby's that they might do. That's probably like the least spectacular thing, but it's probably the most realistic, right? Okay. Street Fighter 6 is what everybody thinks it might be, but it has not been confirmed to be Street Fighter. The other speculation is, and I think it's like time-wise, it makes the most sense if it's a game. Might be related to Resident Evil.
Yeah, most likely. It's always Resident Evil.
I mean, that game makes them the most money. I think that's the highest selling Capcom game since Monster Hunter. No,
Street Fighter's
unfortunately
like
not anymore.
Huh? Oh,
no, I mean selling, not anymore. Like it was Monster Hunter World, and then it was Resident Evil 8.
Yeah.
That blew the doors off of it.
Yeah.
Actually, Monster Hunter World saved Capcom from bankruptcy, and then Resident Evil 8 was the cherry on top. So,
and 7 was successful.
Yes, it was. It actually really was.
Yeah.
But like, so they're doing very well with those two particular franchises. I do believe there's nothing for Monster Hunter that's going to be on a countdown because they have Sunbreak teases and releases on the regular.
Yeah.
So that's covered. And so it's looking like it might be Resident Evil 8. I don't know. I don't have the game. I mean, that was probably the time to get it because it's cheaper than it was on launch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we'll see. Do you have any particular wants?
I would like to see
Anything
Street Fighter
from Street
6.
Fighter or something else?
I like to see Street Fighter 6. I think Street Fighter 6 it's about time. Like, how many seasons you gonna do a 5?
This is true. And they did say they aren't on. I believe they said they were on the final.
This was the final season.
The final season for the tournament season.
Oh,
so
okay.
I think for the actual Capcom Pro Tour, I think this is like the final one for 5. I'm not exactly sure. Well, it might be the flagship game. I'm not exactly sure. So, I mean, if it's ramping down for that reason, then why not start up 6? I'm sure it wasn't just this past week they started on it. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, I think it would be cool if we see it would be cool if it's Street Fighter 6. There's no really fighting games that have been announced.
I would hope I'll tell you what I want is probably the least possible at this time. But somebody a while ago showed that it's not a definite no. And that's Marvel vs. Capcom 4. That's what I want.
Oh, so the other one is not 4, it's just Infinity?
No, it's literally Marvel Capcom Infinite. It's its own. It has its own branding. So that's what I want. I want Marvel 4.
So my issue with that is like my issue with Infinity is the fact that Disney has particular rules with their characters and they don't let Capcom do their thing.
I understand that, but they had those rules in 3, and 3 was amazing.
3 was amazing, but they didn't have those rules in 3 because
they
Disney
did.
didn't hold them at the time.
Did. No, they 100% ended up having to deal with Marvel's rules, and that screwed them up almost immediately because some characters ended up being boo-boo or toned down because of that.
Oh, okay.
So with the restrictions in hand, they made an amazing game. But I have faith in it. But here's the thing: they chose to go with a different engine for Infinite, and that is why it looks like it does. That's the problem.
It looks like a
because when you find out that the game plays amazing, the systems in the game are amazing, you kind of feel like, if you just put a different coat of paint on this game would probably sell gangbusters. That's what ended up shooting that game in the foot. You remember the Coke Fiend Dante?
Yes.
And Chun-Li that looked like she just seen way too much.
Punch in the face.
Bison beat the hell out that one. So but as for the rule thing, yes it did. Yes, it was in place. But like you said, it wasn't Disney, but it was Marvel. Yeah, they did have restrictions.
So I think now Disney just has a lot more restrictions.
Because Infinite exists, it means that the door is not closed to them never making the game again.
Okay.
But then I believe it was last year. That was when there was a tweet about they are willing to work with them again. So I want to see what they do. I want to see if it's capable. I don't know the teams there now because it's different people there in charge. The guy Ono is not there anymore. The guy, I think his name is Nitsuma.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure if he's still there. People moved on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But those guys that took over for Street Fighter 5 at the end, they did a real good job.
Huh?
They turned it around. So if you can turn Street Fighter 5 around, hey man, there's a chance you could turn Marvel vs. Capcom around.
Yeah. So when was so Street Fighter 5 came out about almost 10 years ago, right?
No, like
it's
6
years.
It was 2016.
16? Okay, so about 8 years.
No, that's 6 years ago. That's 22.
6? Okay,
that's 22.
Not my thing. I would like Part 6. I kind of want to just see the direction Part 6 will take. Do I get an old man Ryu?
No, never.
He's just gonna be young still.
You can never get an old man Ryu. Can't.
What? Can we get at least like a little gray, like Reed Richards?
No, and I tell you why. Because because one of the things I can't say I really dislike, but I think is cheap. Capcom wrote themselves out of aging the characters by putting every game before Street Fighter 3. So Street Fighter 4 is after 2, before 3. Street Fighter 5 is after 4, before 3. They wrote themselves into that loop where they could put the characters from 3 in the game, but they put a hard line on passing the story of 3.
What if they do
And
like a remaster or something?
Of 3? That
Like
would be sacrilege.
Like a full remaster, like a full.
That would be
like,
sacrilege.
Yeah.
I think that would be the worst idea ever.
How about Alpha?
The only reason I'll tell you why I think that's a bad idea is because with fighting games in particular, they're team specific.
Yeah, it's true.
So that team that made Street Fighter 3 and the one that people like, Third Strike,
Yeah.
they do not exist at all in any form anymore. Those people are scattered to the wind. When you try to remaster it, you're either going to just take the graphics and keep the engine underneath, which people are going to be like, well, how come you didn't balance it? Because Street Fighter 3 First Strike is incredibly unbalanced. So then there's that, but you're damned if you fix it by touching the balance, but then don't forget it's not the original team, so they might fuck something up. Then there's the graphics, which people love because it's animated in a specific way. Do you want to modernize that animation? Like, I don't. That's like a deeper question on retro stuff, because how do you feel about taking retro sprites and changing them completely to suit modern eyes? Like, do you do that? I don't.
Yeah, you know what? You're talking about that. Kind of remind me of when they did the remaster of Street Fighter 2 with Udon's studio.
I don't think that was very good.
Hey, no, that's where it kind of reminds me of how you're talking about it. Is like it was a new team. It wasn't the original team that's doing it, so it kind of fell off. It wasn't the same.
I mean, listen, you brought that game up. I will say that game put in 2 extremely broken characters just for the sake of it, and one of them is Violent Ken, so I can't be that mad at that game because he's disgustingly broken.
Yeah.
But he's one of the coolest characters that I think Capcom ever made, that they just refused to bring him back.
Yeah.
But that being said, yes, that is a good example of what they did. And I don't think it works so well without the original team.
So it's interesting. Like,
but I will ask Mark, how do you feel like about the sprite work in particular? Like, not just for fighting games, for any game that was from back in the day. How do you feel about like that coming forward? Do you think they should, when they preserve those games, do you think it's like, say there's an anniversary for Sonic 2?
Yeah.
Do you think they should make a Sonic 2 with new graphics? Because they did such a good job with Sonic. Which one? What's the last 2D one? They did such a good job with Mania. Mania is, at least in theory, trying to preserve the style of 2, 3, and I guess like CD. You know what I mean?
So so if they did Sonic 2 a remaster and they used like the Sonic 4 engine, I'll have issues.
I don't like that.
After playing Sonic Mania, if they want to redo that whole shit, I'm all for it.
But that's
because they fucking know how to do a better Sonic game than Sonic.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I will accept that 100%.
Yeah, I can see
but
that.
if they did, so I get you like that. So if they did like that in the Sonic 4 engine, hell no.
Yeah,
because he was falling off the fucking screen,
and he was standing diagonally on half pipes, and I hated that. Yeah, he lost momentum. Like, how do you lose? The whole thing about Sonic is that he's slippery. Come on, man. How you messed that up? So, it's a slippery slope when it comes to preserving, like, sprite-based games. Yeah. Like, I would love to see what somebody like that studio could do with the sprites of Third Strike, because I still say to this day, that's probably the best looking fighting game.
Oh, Chun-Li is
Like
so
in motion, it is ridiculous what they did with 2D sprites.
that was probably my favorite version of Chun-Li. Ooh, Chun-Li.
Like I like Street Fighter 4 and 5. They just went too ridiculous with her eyes, and like you made a caricature of your own. Of the fans got to Capcom. They listened to the fans too much, and they made her.
Like I love Chun-Li. If I would say my favorite female like video game person is always Chun-Li. Chun-Li is my first lady of video games. Like, so anytime they make a new Street Fighter, if it's Chun-Li's in it, that's the first character I'd usually pick. Everyone by you can is Chun-Li. I always fuck with Chun-Li. I still have like the Xbox like arcade controller of Chun-Li and things like that. So Chun-Li was my girl. So I always look at her and I was like, that's one of my favorite characters. So I was like, that would be cool, but again, like you said, you might not be the same people. If it's not the same people, then it might not have the same feel, the same passion in it as well. So that's a big thing. That's why I'd rather have a new game. So if it's not Capcom, I would love to see a Marvel's Capcom and actually done well and done good. Like 3, I actually like 3. I did not like the Ultimate 3.
I felt it was rushed. That's my problem with Ultimate 3.
Yeah, I like the 3. I fuck it. And Deadpool has to be the same character. That's my other thing. If you do more new Marvel's Capcom, Deadpool kind of has to be in it.
Somebody got called Northern North.
He got to beat you with his life bar.
That's his characterization. I like Nolan North's Deadpool.
Me too.
So,
but yeah, I liked it Marvel's Capcom 3. I liked it a lot. I did not like it when they did the Ultimates. I felt like I don't know. I felt like the game was a little off when they did that version. But I did like the original version a lot.
I like how busted some of the characters were.
Yeah.
I like Virgil.
But yeah, I'll say Street Fighter 6. I would like to just see a new Street Fighter. But other than that, yeah, I have a feeling it's gonna be Resident Evil. It's always Resident Evil. Always Resident Evil.
It sells, man.
And they're not the company to do a new IP unless they have a bunch of like big hits coming out first.
I'm still waiting on Dragon's Dogma. Where'd part 2 go? They said it was a real thing.
I don't think that's going to be the big announcement.
No, it could be.
Yeah,
if they treated it like that, especially around this time when Elden Ring is coming out.
Yeah.
Man, listen, people will lose their minds.
There you go.
But they don't.
So.
Also, Elden Ring is this week, so that is what I am looking forward to. I will pre-order that. There are sales on PC. I do not know about console.
Yeah, it's like $10 off.
15% off is most game sites are offering for. So it's regular edition is down to like $50. So checking that out.
Yeah.
And so I think that's, unless you got anything else, that's it, right? We can go to the movie.
Yeah, that's it. I'm just looking through the NECA stuff, and they teasing a layer, and they also so NECA had to put a sign and so they're making a layer. They previewed it, right? They haven't officially said it's a layer, but they have a piece of the manhole that says Turtle Van Garage Stay Out, and I'm like,
oh, gotcha.
Are we getting a Turtle Van?
Gotcha.
Anyway,
yeah, why not? Wait, why not?
If it's $400, I ain't getting it either. If it has to be in like the 200 range, that's the max I would go.
Yeah. No, 100%. They do charge a hefty premium for those.
Because that Super 7 one is $400, $450.
That's true.
And it's humongous, and I didn't really care for it.
Okay.
But yeah, let's get into this movie then.
So this week, for the two decades, and superhero
and
live action movies we have.
Yep.
From 1978 up until 2000, we have for 1999 Virus. And I believe these movies do surprise me when you look up who is the star.
Yeah.
I would think it's Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
But sometimes you'll be surprised who's actually billed as a star. No. It is Jamie Lee Curtis. Okay.
Yeah.
It is directed by John Bruno.
Yes.
Looking through.
He was a visual effects director in Terminator 2, The Abyss, Titanic, and Avatar.
Wow. So he's got some chops, right? And I'm seeing his stuff goes back a ways.
He directed Heavy Metal, the original animated cartoon.
Oh, that's cool. I could definitely see his influence in this movie with the machines and the okay.
But he's also an actor.
And he's also responsible for like a lot of animation that I actually kind of like. He's got the Laugh of Scooby's, the Laugh Olympics and stuff. I thought that was
Plastic
fun.
Man.
Yeah,
He was a layout artist for Plastic Man.
That's cool.
For Hanna-Barbera stuff.
Mm-hmm. Godzilla? What's that? Is this Godzilla? Yeah, it's Godzilla the cartoon.
Yeah.
And Gazuki. Yeah, it was kind of... Listen, I know the cartoon wasn't that great, but I like Gazuki.
Kazuki. All right.
Hold on, we didn't get the date. So it released first in Canada. Well, that's the same day. USA and Canada, January 15th, 1999. And it is rated R, and it is an hour and 39 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you honestly, if you look at the cover of this movie, it does not look like it's gonna be all in the sea. It looks like it's space.
I mean, the first like 5 minutes made me think it was gonna be in space until they hit the ship. Yeah. So this is how we know where it comes from. It is written in part by Chuck. Was it Farrer? Yeah. Creator, and it says Dark Horse comic book series Virus. So that's where it originates from. And now we get to the stars, and we have Jamie Lee Curtis as Kit Foster, William Baldwin as Steve Baker, Donald Sutherland as Captain Robert Everton, Joanna Pakula as Nadia, Marshall Bell as J.W. Woods Jr., Sherman Augustus as Richie, Cliff Curtis as Hiko, Julia Oscar Mechosa as Squeaky. Yeah, he was a character. Yuri Chervatkin as Colonel Kaminsky. I think that's about it for anybody. They have the cosmonauts, but that's about it, right?
Yeah.
Because the captain, the colonel is like the main villain, I guess. He's the main possessed one, if you want to call him that. So I drew a lot of similarities between this movie and Hardware, mostly because of the techno-organic nature of the space beings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The so-called virus, which is actually like I guess it is techno-organic, is what you want to call it. I don't think that's a real thing. I think that's like comic books, man. Yeah. That's like describing Cable.
Yeah.
It's like you say, talking about Cable's arm is techno-organic. I don't think that's real. But it's basically like an alien being that's like it seems like it's made out of energy.
Yeah.
Right? But it carries a consciousness, is what it does. Like, so it hits, I believe, Russian cosmonauts in space. Like you could say it destroys them, but you don't really see 100% what happens to them in the beginning incident.
Yeah.
But you do see what happens to the crew of the tanker, and that's basically where we go when we have Donald Sutherland's, basically his crew, because what are they doing? They're ferrying this gigantic cargo that he says he bet his life savings on his ferrying that thing during the middle of a terrible storm, a hurricane actually, and then they seek refuge in the eye of the hurricane after like they lose the entire cargo. And inside the eye of the hurricane is where they find the abandoned tanker.
Yep.
And that's where like the movie gets into like the suspense and whatnot. It's creepy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. When they get to like what is actually going on, they start showing the beings that the consciousness has created, the virus has created, and what it's doing to humans and what it needs them for is disgusting. I mean, but the thing about it is you see tales like this like in comic books and stuff all the time, in sci-fi all the time, whereas the machines need us to make something more of themselves, and it's kind of cool, but it's also really gross. So that's kind of how I feel about this movie. Like, it's kind of cool, it's really gross, it's kind of dry. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was like, it's one of those like, I'll say like when you go to a video store and it was like one of those random new releases that you never heard of, and you're like, it looks like it's crazy, and that's how you find out for it.
Yeah, it's like a movie you buy for horror night. Like if you and your significant other want to find a movie, or you and your homies is like, hey man, we just want to watch some scary ass movie. I ain't never seen no virus before. What is this? And then you watch it and you're like, that's nasty.
You know what really bugged me in this movie is that there was so much electricity in this fucking boat, and you're surrounded by water and no one got electrocuted.
And that's crazy, because at one point, that's a plot point where they try to take it out.
Yeah.
Like, that's the idea they had to take it out, was to, okay, we're going to submerge it in water, and we're going to let it electrocute itself out and whatnot. Yeah. No, that doesn't make sense, because people are not electricity proof. They were not wearing rubber boots. They were not geared up specifically to avoid touching the metal.
They were not wearing proper PPE. They were in t-shirts and shotguns for some reason. And
that's because Donald Sutherland was crazy. He liked guns. Pulled a gun on his own engineer because he didn't want to give up the cargo.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I will say, I think he's one of the best characters in the movie, because he's just a piece of garbage, but like, he's acted well, and the things he does is just like, you see, he defects and helps the being. Obviously, you know, people like that meet their just desserts, but like, it's kind of messed up. Just how you see, like, he sees his crew and the crew of the tanker like dismembered in that room. Like, that's one of the coolest parts of the movie, I think, was the practical effects. Like, this was before a lot of things, so, you know, I will say that I guess that is one of the areas where having the John Bruno, the guy who has so much experience in filming things like that, it stood out. It really stood out. It was really like gross and dank and dark and nasty, and like, but it wasn't like that just for the sake of it. It had a purpose because of what the machines were doing. You know what I mean? So, like, again, it's not the greatest like sci-fi movie. I still think as a cautionary tale, be afraid of the machines type movie, I think Hardware was a better movie. I know it had a lower budget, it was maybe older, you know what I mean, but I liked it more. I just did. So 3 for me, not that bad, but a bit dry.
I give it a 2.75. Because it was alright. It was not one of the better ones, but now it's kind of like edging out the list and stuff like that. That I like certain movies better than the other. So that's kind of how I'm like grading things now. Is like, if I like something better than the other, because now our list is so many movies. So I had to see which one I like better. No, I actually gave it to 3. My fault, 3. So it makes my number, where is it? 34, and it makes your number 37.
37?
37.
37? That's a lot.
We have 5 movies left on this list, and then we're gonna just keep on going.
And they're all Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I think I might have to watch that movie
Yeah,
again.
that's not part of the comic. Sadly, those are not part of the list.
It didn't make it, but timeline wise, it would.
Yeah.
Year wise, because when did that come out? 90.
But it's not based on a
97?
comic.
No, I'm just saying. Well, it does feature Cockknocker.
Yeah, it does look creepy. That's villains.
The super villain.
So, as of right now, your list, your top 10 still is RoboCop, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, RoboCop 2, Batman, Toxic Avenger, Superman 2, The Mask, Men in Black, Blankman, and Blade. My top 10 is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, RoboCop, The Mask, Batman, RoboCop 2, The Crow, Superman 2, Blankman, Men in Black, and Blade. Our next movie, we go back to a sequel that we have not seen in the last 20 movies, and we go back to Toxic Avenger and Citizen Toxie.
Let's hope they learn some lessons, because Toxic 3 was real annoying.
Yeah.
Real annoying. So, let's see.
Yep.
Toxic 1 and 2, good movies. I recommend them. But Toxic 3, I hate it.
So, we got Citizen Toxie next week. The following week, we got Crow Salvation. The week after that, we got The Specials. Week after that, Unbreakable. And the last movie will be X-Men. And then the count goes back. Are we going to keep these in the count, or are we going to do a brand new?
Yeah, there's no reason to count. There's nothing like that we specifically skipped in this, right?
No.
Like Marvel or DC.
The only thing I will say is the list is not in order. So they're all on the same year they're supposed to be on, but they're not in order. And when they came out, the only ones that are in order are like the DC and Marvel movies. Those are in order.
Yes.
But everything else, they're in the same year with their. I didn't put them in order. That's the only thing.
No, it doesn't have to be in.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be in. But month order, that's fine.
The way I put Catwoman, I just put a sad face.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I've never seen Catwoman from beginning to end. I've seen the Nostalgia Critics review of it, and it was hilarious.
Yeah.
And I've never seen... I've never seen Unbreakable.
Unbreakable's good. It's kind of like dull in the beginning, but it's interesting.
Okay.
All right. So those are our movies. We are almost done with this list, and then we continue with another list. We keep going. Yeah. To wrap this up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for listening to another episode of the It Gets Better I Swear podcast. Make sure you check us out anywhere and everywhere. RedCycloneInc. That is Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram. That is YouTube. That is SoundCloud. That is Spotify. And we got a WordPress, so check it out. Where you at, Merp?
Follow me on Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, YouTube, SoundCloud, and Twitch, all Merp with the mic. Follow our other casts. We do have four monthly ones and 2 weekly ones. We have the Gets Better I Swear and the Wrestling Babble every week, and we got the Shell Shock, which got a new episode this week. We got the Morphin Cast. We had a new episode last week. We got the Gamer Rage podcast and Not a Trekkie. So check all those out. And again, always remember, follow the Jinkies.
Also, before we go, because the Jinkies needs to know, welcome back, Kairi Sane.
Yes.
That's it.
We missed that out on the Wrestling Babble, and we love her. And welcome back.
She is the best. The Pirate Princess is back.
If you want to check her out,
spinning chop somebody in the face.
Watch Stardom on YouTube. It's free.
We highly recommend it.
And yeah, they get some match, and I'm in love with Mia. I love her.
Okay, good.
Peace out, leaders, and always remember.
He's hungry.